Hello, today we will be discussing effective ways to teach vocabulary. Vocabulary is the knowledge of words and their meaning. So, this has two parts. So, this is understanding the definition of the word and understanding how it fits into the world. You never fully master vocabulary as it's always expanding and deepening. Children through grade 6 will learn 800 to 1,000 root words each year. And by grade 6, they will on average have learned 10,000 root words. Children from disadvantaged homes begin school with a smaller oral vocabulary and gain words much slower than the average student. So, these are the students that you really want to keep an eye on when you are discussing vocabulary. There are many different forms of vocabulary, and they fall into multiple different categories. So, the first two categories are oral and print. Oral vocabulary, you're talking about listening, the words you understand when they're spoken, and speaking, the words you use when you're speaking. And then print vocabulary, which is reading, which are words that we understand when we read, and then writing, which is words used when writing. But then we have two other categories, receptive and productive. So receptive are listening and reading. So those are the ones that you're taking in, and productive, which is speaking and writing, which are the words that you are producing. There are four levels of word knowledge. So the first level is when you have never seen or heard a word. The second is when you've seen or heard it, but you don't understand the meaning. The third is when you have a vague understanding of the meaning of the word and can create associations with concepts or contexts. And then the fourth is when you know the word and understand the word well. For a word knowledge activity, I'd like you to look at the list of words below and decide your level of word knowledge for each one. Have you never seen it? Have you seen it but don't understand it? Do you have a little bit of an understanding of it, or do you know it well? Once you've done this for each word, please compare your results to the peers at your table, and if you have some extra time, you can discuss each word. There are four components of an effective vocabulary program. The first is having many opportunities for independent reading to expand word knowledge. The second is specific word instruction to help with comprehension. The third is instruction in independent word learning strategies. And the fourth is word consciousness and word play activity. There are a few different methods of vocabulary instruction. The first is intentional vocabulary teaching, which is explicitly teaching of specific words and word learning strategies. You want to be able to see the vocabulary in context instead of isolation, and you want to engage the students in using and thinking about word meaning and creating relationships between words. The second is fostering word consciousness. This is when you create an awareness and interest in words, encouraged through encouraging adapt diction, through wordplay, and through research on word origins. The third is multiple exposures in multiple contexts. Students have to see a word more than once to place it in the long term memory. You want them to be able to see words in multiple contexts. The fourth is restructuring of vocabulary tasks. In this, teachers need to be sure students understand the instructional task before focusing on vocabulary. And the fifth is incidental vocabulary learning. Most vocabulary is acquired incidentally through indirect exposure, engaging in rich oral language experiences at home and at school, listening to books read aloud, and reading on their own. Next, we're going to discuss curriculum. Begin direct instruction of specific words as early as possible, as vocabulary deficits happen early in life and can make it difficult to catch up to classmates. This can be done before reading, during reading, or after reading. Students should be given the opportunity to see words in multiple contexts and internalize word learning strategies to apply them in different contexts over time. There are a few different ways you can do this. The first would be text talk, the read aloud method, which is when you read a story aloud and then introduce the meaning of targeted words. The next would be meaning vocabulary, when you introduce a large number of teachable words through repeated reading over multiple days. And the third is the method for independent reading, which is when you teach targeted words before reading, then allow students opportunity to read a passage. Once a passage is read, you may discuss those words that you were previously taught. ELLs with lower vocabularies have a difficulty comprehending grade level text, so there are many things you can do to help them. First, we can use their first language to their advantage, so we can find cognate words and use that knowledge to find the meaning of new words. We can teach the meaning of basic words. So, words that most English only students already know, we need to make sure we're teaching those to our multilingual learners. And we can review and reinforce words. So, this can be done through read alouds, teacher directed activities, audio tapes, and also parent involvement. The National Reading Panel suggests the use of multiple assessments in order to gain an understanding of a student's vocabulary. Standardized assessments may be used to find a baseline, but assessments that match the instructional context will help the instructional planning more effectively. Early intensive intervention should be priority for students with restricted oral vocabularies. You can use a core literacy library as a screening assessment. The FastBridge auto reading assessment is both a screening and progress monitoring assessment. You could also use the Easy CBM assessment, which is a screening assessment, a progress monitoring assessment, and a diagnostic. At your next grade level meeting, please discuss ways you could help your vocabulary instruction become more effective. Please bring your strategies to our next staff meeting and we will discuss them all. Before leaving, please fill out the following exit ticket. Thank you.